Our lesson today in LBR Educates is basic vase design. Actually, I'm going to teach you some new tips and tricks to be able to incorporate some labor savings. We're going to start with a lower profile vase. This is the Adorn Hurricane. It's one of the vases that I really like. It's lower profile, has a little bit of a flare on the bottom, but it's going to allow me to create a little bit more open design. As I'm a lower level designer, I'm going to pull my vase all the way to the back edge of the table. And we're going to utilize the floral materials to create a grid. So rather than taping a grid over the top of this flower or this vase, I'm going to come in and use, and I cut this already by mistake, but you just come down off the back edge and use your fingers to pinch and then make that cut where you know that you want it. So then you know where the head's going to be. We look at this, come here. Now I can see which leaves are going to be under the water line. I'm going to remove those, and this is where I want my rose to be. So I pinch, come in, and you can see that I get great placement and I know exactly where it's going to go. I'm making X's within the vase and coming in, we're going to come a little higher on this one and come over the top. So I have two stems like that. My next stem comes over the top there. My next stem comes over the top here. And we're just going to keep doing that. So rather than do the middle of the vase first, we're really doing the outside edge of the vase first. Once we have a good perimeter, that's when I'm going to come in and add a little bit of foliage, coming in that same pattern, coming here, across and down, this side, across and down, and again, continuing to form that X pattern in that makes an internal grid into your vase. And you can see I don't have any foliages down under the water line. I'm going to add some leather leaf in nice long pieces and come in and have it up exposed in my design. Really gives a fresh element to it. The greens, we've been trending on gray greens for a while, but the richer, darker greens are going to start coming back in fashion. Now lots of times I see people start with a hydrangea and they'll start with that in the middle, and by the time they've put all the flowers over the top, the hydrangea's all gone. So at this point, we're going to come in. We want to take a look. So that's a little bit high. I'm going to pinch it up a little bit taller and then come in, do my nice clean cut and bring it down. So it is going to go into my focal area and become kind of that centerpiece on this design. But you can see that it has its own space, and I'm really able to give each flower its own territory. You can really increase the perceived value if you can run your finger around the flower and you don't run into another flower. This allows for them to have the space to develop into larger flowers. Some of the roses and such, this Perignon gerbras that we grow here at Len Bush are an amazing gerb. They're of course not going to get that much bigger, but you can see other items you would want to allow them to have space to grow. Just going to kind of keep spinning this around a little bit and see where I need stems here. And I'm used to by eye cutting, but remember, the less experienced, just come back and pull it back and do that pinch down on the bottom here so you can see where it's going to go, and you can come in and have that stem go all the way down in. This is a Charlotte Rossano chrysanthemum disc bud. I kind of use them as like poor man's dahlias, but it's a great variegated disc bud that comes kind of in that antique pink and green color, but it creates a great focal area and a different textural element. Coming in with a little bit of the Hypericum adds another level of texture. And then some of the snapdragons. I always love that fresh smell that you get when you cut a snapdragon. It reminds me of my grandma. She always, I always went out and picked peas with her, and kind of has that same fragrance. When I go down and tour the greenhouses, it just brings back that memory. And that's what fragrance does. It initiates memories for people as they come in and kind of develop that sense. The green mist is going to also add in a great textural element and has a really different kind of look that really initiates kind of repetition of that hydrangea with that flat surface, but really adds a lot of depth and value into this design. And for filler flower, I'm going to come back in and add a little bit of wax. On here, I cut the stem in half. I'm going to lay it together and put it in as one insertion. This obviously is one insertion, but sometimes you can take it and just lay the top and the bottom together, and we'll do that on here. So we're going to take the top. You look here, we can cut this piece off, and then I can come here. I can lay these two together, and that way I get a more impactful insertion, not throwing that one stem on the floor, thus being more profitable with my product. And coming in, that one stem, that cut off part of the stem, disappears down within that design. Our last thing that we're going to add is a little bit of tree fern. Really brings that feathery look. It is easy on a strong stem, so it's a fast and easy insertion. To lock in some of those last insertions, I'm coming across the design, and this will help to finish out that canopy on the design and bring it down to the table. This one got a little long. Just got to cut it down a little bit. So you can see just how easy that was. It's solid within the vase. It feels like it's going to make it to the customer with that grid that we've created with those stems. So please take these labor-saving techniques and ideas and bring them to your customers.